Hello, so you want to make gold, currency, or just sell things and make profits? Well, here's a threat for you using Harbinger, Breach, and just playing the game. Now, this is very low budget, or you can put some chaos into it and produce more consistent and arguably better, but we'll leave that to another discussion. Now, we'll go over some things very quickly and you'll be able to understand what you need to do easily. First, we'll start by the rules on gold. Gold, if you have a naked atlas, no points on it. You need to maximize the tier map you're doing. Up to T17 is the best. You need to maximize the amount of magic or rare or unique, but magic and rare are the most easily boosted, and also the quantity on your map. Now we'll get into how we can maximize that for the gold side, which also adds to the currency and then goes into the loot drops. Now, we have taken all the Breach and all the Harbinger, but as you can see, 30% chance for Harbinger, 104% chance for Breaches, which means we either need to use a Scarab to maximize Harbingers, or pay for the map device mechanic to add Harbinger each time, which costs 3 to 6 depending on your atlas. These nodes over here, you take one of these 3 at a time. You just unspec and put them back on. In my opinion, that's the best way to do that. We have taken the monsters and pack size around the shrine, and then the shrine gives us additional buffs. If you did want to take that, you could come up here and take this one, which adds quantity and rarity to your map. So this one is the average atlas. It's not designed towards either map sustain or just 100% loot. It's a bit of both, and it looks like that. The next one is a map sustainable atlas. So as you can see, we have actually taken the unwavering vision, which means no scarabs, hence the map sustain. We have taken this node, which makes monsters more difficult but rewarding. So we are going straight for currency. And all the atlases, we have taken this as well to drop currency when our favorite map isn't taken. Dropped, I should say. Now, the ideal maps, in my opinion, for this are, if you have a cooldown, places with rooms like residence, courthouse, where you can unload in an area, rebuff, and then go to the next area. The alternate strat is wide open area where you clear as many things as possible. Your build needs to be able to do that without having a cooldown. These maps like beach, dunes, jungle. So if your build is a open space area, obviously pick that. If you need a little enclosed little spot, the Harbingers are pretty good for sitting in a room. Breach, they span out, so it can be a little more difficult to get your breach on some of the maps because of the doors and walls and everything else. But if you can just unload in a small area, it will maximize instead of having to try to chase them around, cool down, risk it getting damaged, etc. We have turned off everything but delirium and breach on this, just to try to increase that 30% chance. Other things can spawn, obviously, because it doesn't cancel everything. As you can see on our breaches, we have 3 additional rares, 50% increased magic, 44 increased chance for a boss. We have quantity of breach splinters from the hands, 1 more clasp band. As you can see, we're just maximizing our breach. Do turn it down and tone it down, like take out the boss or something if you're finding it difficult to complete them, because if you can't complete it, then it's really not any point doing it. So you might as well lower the difficulty either by taking this, or just reduce the amount of higher level creatures like bosses. This last one is pure loot. We probably won't sustain our maps ever, because we aren't taking all that much sustain. So we're going on the trade website, we're buying maps, we're getting a inventory full, then we're doing this. We're not doing it map by map by map. We are focusing on maximizing our returns. So we are going full scarabs. So as you can see, every one of these yellow circles is a scarab. So we are taking as much scarabs as possible. The map sustain is not going to be able to do it for us, and as you can see, unique monsters, so that ties into here as well. So it all ties together between the breach, the harbinger, and the scarabs. So the only thing is, this will probably cost you chaos to get going, because you need to buy your maps or stockpile them by playing either this one and then change your map atlas, or you're running a different thing, like maybe you're map sustaining to complete your atlas. Now you got a heap of maps and you're just going to run this and get profit. I won't promise you get X amount because RNG, but this will maximize a lot of your chances. So just keep in mind, map sustain is probably not going to happen here. We'll have a look at things you can do. Add 2 additional breaches. We get 100% spawn, so this will add 2 more on top of the 100% chance to spawn, plus the other modifiers we got already. So you don't need this, but it usually is like 1 chaos, and we'll show the trade website at the moment and show you the price of it. We are maximizing the class bands, so this will add on to our atlas, and obviously breach splinters, and you can have 2, so you can actually have 100% chance, 100% extra drop, not 100% chance. Thirdly, for breach, we have the clasp hands are guarded by rare breach monsters. Now, as I said before, the higher the difficulty of monster, the more chance you have of it dropping gold, and the more gold that it can drop based on the tier of map you're running. So, say we're running tier 16s, we're currently getting the 2nd highest amount of gold that something can drop. We are killing rare monsters, so we're getting the 2nd highest monster that it can drop, and then we are maximizing the amount of monsters on the actual thing, because 5 to 10 additional hands, each of them with rare breach monsters. So we are just scaling everything up. This one might set you back a little more though. Harbies, you might need to put a little bit of chaos to make sure it happens 100% of the time, if you want it 100% of the time. If you just want it whenever, then fine. Don't run this. Just run the breach and take on the harbingers when they rock up. But self-explanatory. Adds 3 additional harbingers to your map. Now, currency shards dropped by harbingers are duplicated. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but my belief is that currency shards dropped or duplicated gets converted to our currency shards have a chance to be dropped as currency in our atlas. So the currency gets duplicated as well. Now, correct me if I'm wrong and they've changed it, or I've just been under one of those Mandela beliefs where something was happening but it wasn't. But my understanding is that that's how it's been happening. I believe it's been happening for me, but correct me if you believe I'm wrong. And this Harbinger spawn empowered obelisk drop currency shards when defeated. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, this does not scale with the Harbinger's currency. My understanding is the obelisks and the Harbingers are treated as different entities, not a combined entity. But you got to take out the empower obelisk anyway, so you might as well get your currency shards up. So we have the breach scarab. It costs a chaos. The clasp hands, breach splinters, chaos, and the guarded by rare monsters. This might set you back a little bit. It might set you back between 1 and 10, depending on how you can get it. You can do this on the trade exchange as well, because scarabs are on the trade exchange. Harbies, we have 1 chaos. The obelisk, 1 chaos, and then the currency shards can be duplicated 1 chaos. You might end up here if it starts getting a bit popular when you're starting to do it, but that's why this is a very budget friendly, as well as a very lucrative bit, because the 30% chance people go, meh, I don't want to have to pay the chaos to make sure it's on my map, so I'd rather just go do something else. But you combine the something else with it. Most people just focus on one thing and do one thing alone. This combines your want of gold, your want of currency, and your want of drops. So we are combining everything in together, packed it all together, and exploding everything out. And this can be very lucrative. The better your build, the better your ability to maximize your stuff from it. That is pretty much the thing, and pretty much the secret of any strategy is whoever plays the most earns the most. That is pretty much POE in a nutshell. Let me know what you think about the plans, the scarabs, everything else, and all that for this strategy. Let me know how you have found the league so far and whether you are earning those divines. But here are those buttons, and super thanks if you would like to support the channel, and that would be appreciated by me and my family. But until next time, goodbye and happy hunting.